Ross, the standout from the conference so far seems to be that very few people have turned up. They've had to move to a smaller hall. I've been to bigger sci-fi conventions. Is there a bit of a smell of death about this event?
Well, of course, I haven't actually been there. I'm in London, not in Manchester. Sadly, because I really enjoy party conferences. So I would love to find out if there was a smell of death, but I can't be there actually sniffing it. I think, viewing from afar, there is a sense that the right-wingers are on the front foot at this conference, and that the One Nation Tories are really taking a back seat because they're not steering the government agenda, and then they don't look like the people who have a good chance of winning a leadership contest next year either. But of course, a lot of it is, influenced by what the media is looking at. And of course, the media is looking at the right wingers. It's not really necessarily hanging out with David Gork at the launch of his new book about the centre-right last night, which I understand he did sell quite a lot of copies of that. So maybe there's more than I think. One of the problems with Tory conferences now is that a lot of MPs don't go. Some of them complain that they keep being pestered by lobbyists if they go, and there's no point. And of course, it's been very difficult to get there thanks to the rail strike. So that may be contributing to the sense of slight doom.
The Guardian's commentary is kind of drawing a line between sort of post-election, we're in for a battle between Trussite free marketers and faith, family and flag culture warriors like Miriam Cates, Danny Kruger, Patel and Braverman. Is it too early to get a sense of who might be getting, you're just saying the right-wingers on the front foot, but these are two flavours of right-winger. Yeah,
there are two interesting divisions here going on. My sense is that the faith, family and flag is in the ascendant. I mean, Liz Truss did give a speech today, but it was widely mocked. The people who are really getting attention are the people who have a decent chance of replacing Rishi Sunak in a leadership election. And Priti Patel was early off the starting blocks this time because she actually took on Suella Braverman over multiculturalism and suggested that her comments were quite offensive. So there are differences here. But remember, these are people with a lot still in common, who can coalesce later. It's worth remembering that Patel gave a full-throated defence of GB News last night. She gave a speech where she thanked them for absolutely everything they were doing, even, presumably, what they were doing last week. And Suella Braverman did an interview with Lee Anderson on GB News last week, just after getting back from her speech in the States, where she was criticising multiculturalism. They are both getting, they're both getting a good hearing. And while I think, as I say, it's Liz. Sorry, I'll start that sentence again. I think that the free marketeers are not in the ascendant at the moment, but that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody other than Liz Truss can't make some kind of comeback after the next election.
Seth, on those free marketeers, there was an absolute shock move, which nobody expected. Liz Truss called for tax cuts in her fringe speech. And she did actually draw quite a big crowd, whereas people like Grant Shapps have been speaking to largely empty rooms. Even Nigel Farage turned up to hear her speak. Do you think that point gives us a pointer to the future direction? She can get the crowds.
I don't know. I mean, what it tells us is that the next Tory leadership contest is already underway. They're expecting to lose the next election. They're expecting Sunak won't stick around and people are out on manoeuvres. Just because they're out on manoeuvres, it doesn't mean they have much of a following. Truss is at this very strange stage in her life where, understandably, if you've been ousted very quickly, you take a while to work out what your next step's going to be. In Truss's case, having spent the previous 12 years jockeying for position to become Prime Minister, she's decided to revert to jockeying for position to become Prime Minister. And I don't think anyone seriously expects this to work out, but it almost looks like force of habit.
Well, you say that, and I don't want to say that they're all mental, but she was signing copies of the mini budget, which is like, please have a signed copy of the thing that seems to have tanked the entire country.